Hello guys and welcome back to Big Brother Canada, and today we've got a lot to talk about because this week Elijah is now the head of household and it is a week of twists and turns. Alliances are being formed, alliances are being broken, and people are starting to heavily distrust others within the house. So with all of this content to come, you guys should be watching along. The link is in the description to watch along. Honestly, it is some of the most fun I'm having watching reality TV at the moment, especially with like The Apprentice being a bit naff and Married at First Sight cooking and then not cooking, then cooking again. This is a consistent thrill ride, and if you're not watching it, you are missing out. But we are on our way to 900 subscribers, so if you guys are enjoying the videos and you aren't already subscribed, make sure you are. I'm seeing a lot of people watching this video, these videos in general, that are not subscribed, and you guys can change that. Help us reach our goal of 900, and the quicker we get there, the quicker I can start making even more content for you guys. So without much further ado, let's get into the video, shall we? So, as I mentioned, Elijah is now the head of household, and he faces a little bit of a dilemma because he is in a very comfortable position in the house. He's in an alliance with the majority of the house, and that kind of leaves him with only a few people to put up for nominations. Unfortunately for me, some of those people are people that I am rooting for and I like. People like Bailey, Todd. That is it. Everyone else that I like is already kind of protected by Elijah. So it does become very, very clear very, very quickly that he's planning on doing a madness and really sort of rocking the boat, upsetting the house. But also I feel like he feels like by targeting people outside of the alliance, he's not going to be upsetting anyone. But what he doesn't realize is that the people that he wants to get rid of have connections to people that he is close to. So it really is a tricky dilemma of what does he do here. I'm going to leave that little conversation there for a second because we're going to come back to that. But yeah, he's in a very unique position because it is a genuine question of like, what does he do here? What on earth does he actually do? So before we head into some proper gameplay sections, just wanted to talk about Matt and Lexus. Now, as you've probably seen in my reviews, they've been getting a little bit cozy, a little bit cute, a little bit warm, let's just say. And it seems like they are a fully fledged showmance now. They were caught, or not quite caught, but they were kissing in one of the bedrooms, and Avery walked in on them. That was very, very entertaining. And I gotta say, for the most part, this is beginning to stress people out because showmances are dangerous. Instead of having two single players, you've got an alliance that is going to be very, very hard to break up. So people are already starting to think, maybe we should deal with that sooner rather than later, because the longer we leave it, the more powerful they could become and the more problems they could cause us further down the line. It's very, very rare for a showmance to make it to the end. I don't even know if it's happened. No spoilers, please, for previous seasons because I haven't watched the majority of them. But on the whole, this series is turning out to be really, really interesting, especially when you've got the added element of Matt and Lexus, who, let's face it, are going to cause trouble in the future. So before we get into Elijah's decision-making process, we have a little game by the name of Milky Meadows. This was the Have Not Challenge of the week. I personally thought this was a crazy challenge. Very degrading, but also like very, very funny to watch. They basically had to like bend down and suck milk out of these like milk bottles like they were goats. Then deposit the milk in their mouths into like a milk urn. What are they called? Like a milk urn, let's just call it that, why not? And then they had to basically try and outweigh the other team by having the most milk in their churn. Oh, it's a churn, not an urn. That's where I was getting confused. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting challenge, and I gotta say they all did it incredibly well. Unfortunately, Vivek, Tola, Kayla, and Anthony were actually the ones that lost the challenge and became have-nots of the week. However, they were told, the other team were told that they could save one person, and they decided to save Dougie, Anthony. I personally would have let him suffer, because he is starting to piss me off at this point, and he thinks he can run around to control the house. And it's really, really frustrating me, and I just want to... But yeah, on the whole, very, very interesting challenge, very entertaining challenge, and I think the final score was like 9.5 kg of milk versus 8 kg, which like is a lot of milk. If you think about it, that's a lot of milk. That's a good many pints. So we've now come to a section of the episode where things are going to start getting a little bit crazy and a little bit interesting, and problems are starting to be caused. Tola went to go talk to Elijah to see where his head's at, and Elijah basically was like, okay, what can you tell me? And Tola was like, yo, you know the people that you're supposedly in an alliance with, like Kayla and the girls and things like that? Yeah, they were campaigning to keep Dennis last week. They were really trying to rack up votes to save Dennis, and then when they realised the vote wasn't going their way, they switched back to save you. And Elijah's like, huh? Huh? Because as far as I'm aware, I'm in an alliance with them, so why are they going behind my back to try and vote me out of the house and save Dennis when that's not part of the plan? What is going on there? Tola's done an interesting thing, because now Elijah does not know who he can trust. Elijah's head is spinning, and that is the worst possible place for Elijah to be having these kind of doubts in the HOH position, because he decides who goes home this week, or he decides who gets put up. The house decides who goes home, but he decides who gets put in danger. So having these moments of like, oh shit, can I even trust them? Not good for his game, not good for anyone else's game. So obviously, he brings Kayla in for the Wendy's lunch, and Kayla denies these allegations, even though they are factually 100% true. They were thinking of saving Dennis. It didn't obviously work out, but they were definitely thinking of saving Dennis. And so now Kayla's like, well, Tola's got to go. And she went to go talk to Dougie, and Dougie was like, that doesn't sound like something Tola would do. Why would he do that? And Kayla's like, well, Elijah's told me. Are you saying Elijah's lying? What's going on here? And then we come to Elijah's plan for the week and what he wants to do. And it's just really concerning to me, because not only are you doing a backdoor on someone, but you're doing a backdoor on someone that I'm not convinced the whole house wants out. And that's going to cause an issue. So he decided to put up Todd and Tola. Todd and Tola were the two people that he put up. But his plan is to backdoor Bailey by taking down Todd during the veto. And then putting Tola up against Bailey. However, the girls, of which there are 4. No. Okay, technically 3. Let's not include Lexus in this. 3 of them, they're going to vote to save Bailey. Bailey only needs 5 votes. Todd's going to vote for Bailey. So that means that there's 4 of them. It's only one more vote. And I 100% think that V could manage to persuade somebody else to vote Tola out. And then, like, Elijah's plan is fucked. I don't think he understands how much support Bailey has in the house, because just because she's outside of the alliance doesn't mean she's outside of other people's alliances. She's not a lone wolf. She is protected somewhat. So it just worried me putting Todd up there. I'm fine with Tola being up there, because for me at the moment, he's an expendable part. Whereas everyone else is kind of like integral. And also with Elijah, there are people that I want to go up that he's close to, like Dougie and Matt. And I just can't. Yeah, I need him to realize. Well, the thing is, because I'm on the girls' side. It's so difficult, isn't it? because I think that they're playing a much more interesting game than the boys at the moment. The boys are really playing it safe. Dougie's playing it the most unsafe, but obviously it's really working out for him at the moment. So I just think it's a really, really crazy time at the moment. And yeah, that was nominations. Todd and Tola are up for nominations at the halfway mark. So that brings us to the veto. The veto was interesting. Tola chose Dougie out of the random pick. Tola chose Lexus. Wait, did I say Tola? Todd chose Dougie. Tola chose Lexus. Elijah accidentally picked Bailey. Yeah. So Bailey has a chance to win the veto and protect herself from being nominated and take down Todd, which would force Elijah to probably put up Vivek, which would have been interesting. So when it came to the actual veto challenge, it was an interesting one. They had to bet time that they could complete an activity, and the person with the lowest time would attempt to do that activity in that set time. Bailey thought that she could get a hole-in-one in like a minute and a half. She did, surprisingly. It was not looking likely for a hot minute. And then obviously that meant that she could choose someone to take out of the game. So she chose Tola. Tola didn't even get to play. Lexus then won the bet for pickleball. Basically, she had to like shoot targets, but like some of them wouldn't go down, some of them would. It was fairly complicated. It wasn't that complicated. And she managed to do that in the time frame and took out Todd. Then Bailey had to throw things at a dartboard and make sure that it added up to 60. And she did that. And I was like, these people are absolutely smashing it. Lexus and Bailey have absolutely smashed it. And obviously that meant that she took out Anthony. And then in the final round, they had to do almost like, is it shuffleboard? Like, I can't think what it's called. Like, almost like air hockey, where you have to, like, bat the pucks to the other side, but using, like, a slingshot. I thought it was quite a cool challenge. Lexus ended up winning the veto. Oh, Lexus winning the veto was not part of the plan. Was a little bit dodgy, because obviously she wants to save Tola. And if she saves Tola, then that means that Bailey is going to go up against Todd. And then that's a really uncomfortable position for people to be in. And I don't think anybody particularly wants that to happen, apart from maybe Elijah. Yeah. So now we come to the unfortunate position of Kayla against the boys. And it's really boys versus girls at this point, because Matt is beginning to plant seeds with Elijah about the fact that the girls might not be trustworthy and that him, Lexus and Dougie are the way forward. This is obviously gonna cause problems, because Elijah is a little bit of a snake. He's a snake in a really, really weird way that I don't think he has his priorities straight, because he is hearing all of this from Matt and then telling Kayla what Matt said, but then isn't relaying what Kayla's saying back to Matt, even though he's meant to be in a stronger sort of alliance with Matt. So I don't really know what Elijah's game plan is at this point. It's an odd one. It's a strange one. It's not computing in my brain at the moment. But on the whole, I feel like it's putting us in an interesting position, because Kayla's now starting to question whether Dougie has her back or not. Because this is now twice that she's gone to him and been like, look, your alliance members, Tola and Matt, are causing problems for me and bringing my name up. And Dougie is not believing her. He's like, why would they do that? That it doesn't benefit their game, but we've seen it happen. Dougie just doesn't want to believe it, or doesn't want to send them home because they're good for his game. And I think Kayla is now starting to work out that maybe Dougie doesn't have their back after all. And I'm hoping that this is part of one big plan to get rid of Dougie, because I cannot have him anymore. He's really frustrating me. I can't hack it. It's frustrating. But this is the issue, is that we've got Lexus in a position of power here. Lexus has the position to take somebody down from the block, and that means that Elijah will put Bailey up on the block. I think the girls know that, and I think the girls are now worried about that because Bailey is obviously a number for them, and they don't want to see another girl go home. So what they planned to do was kind of threaten Lexus, because they had spoken to Elijah about the possibility of putting up Matt as a replacement nominee, and Elijah seemed very open and receptive to this. And this is what I mean by, like, he didn't go back and tell Matt until, like, next episode. So what happened there? There's like a lack of trust almost, and I haven't quite worked out why, but V basically pulled Lexus into the car and went, look, if you use this, I'm really sorry, but you're going to start a war, because he's going to put Bailey up and you're going to cause a divide in the house. It'll be war. She was being very, very dramatic, and I did really appreciate the drama because I actually thought it added a lot to it and really sort of put pressure on Lexus. But I think it really was up to Lexus, and like I said, she would have chosen to save Tola, but she decided to not change the veto, like not to veto the nominations. So that means that heading into eviction night, Todd and Tola are up on the chopping block, and I find that really, really interesting because I did not expect at the start of the week either of them to be up there. I'm happy my girl Bailey is safe. Bailey, I'm rooting for you. Don't let me down. But I'm still a little bit gobsmacked about how all this has happened, because I just feel like everything's deteriorated in the space of a week. Nobody trusts each other now. The whole producers or directors or whatever that alliance is called is broken down because nobody trusts each other now, apart from like the girls and the boys, and Lexus. Like, it's crazy to me. In the next episode, there's this thing called the executive veto. I've already seen how it plays out, and when I tell you this next episode is potentially one of the craziest episodes of a Big Brother show I've ever watched, so make sure you stick around for that. But that is all we've got time for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to keep on watching and liking, subscribing. We're on our way to 900. You guys are helping us get there, so please, please, please keep on subscribing if you're not subscribed already. And if you are subscribed, make some fake accounts. I don't know, do something. I'm joking, don't make fake accounts. That's bad. But thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to keep on ranting. Bye now.